My name is Jen. I'm 6. You're going to have to forgive me. And today I'm going to be bringing you my top 10 books of 2022. I cannot believe that 2022 is over. I'm actually very happy to get to say goodbye to it. It has not been the best year for me personally. Had a lot of things happen, topped off by this. But I did read some pretty good books. So like Silver Lining. I joined the booktube community officially in 2022, which I've greatly appreciated and has been so helpful to me in my life, and I've gotten to chat with a few people because of it. So I'm very happy with the way that part of my life has turned out in 2022. But I'm very excited for 2023. But first, let's get into my favorites of 2022. The first book coming in at number 10, we have For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. This is the first in a fantasy duology. In this world, the first daughter is for the throne, the second daughter is for the wolf, and in this book, Red is the second daughter in this kingdom, and in turn has to be sacrificed to the Wilderwood and to the mysterious wolf who resides in it. But as usually happens with these, once Red gets to the woods, she finds a world that she wasn't really expecting, and things are not at all as what she seems. Despite the fact that I read this is actually, but the legends lie. The wolf is a man, not a monster. Her magic is a calling, not a curse. And if she doesn't learn how to use it, the monsters the gods have become will swallow the wildwood and the wilderwood and her world whole. I really enjoyed this. Again, if you've seen any of my vlogs recently, I was meant to read For the Throne earlier, but I apparently have forgotten 90% of this plot, so I need to reread this. So I'm definitely going to be doing that in 2023, but this one absolutely enthralled me in 2022 and deserves the number 10 spot on this list. Next, we have The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane. This is a contemporary male-male romance that follows Dave, who is this like assistant on this Bachelor-like television show called Ever After, and Charlie, who I believe was like this tech guy who's had a bunch of bad PR and has been cast on the next season of this show in order to help boost his reputation. But Charlie has severe social anxiety, so going on a dating show really isn't the best thing for him. And so he has a lot of he struggles a lot to kind of do what is needed for the show. And that is when they hire Dave to basically be his handler. They kind of go everywhere together. They stay in the same house, and while they're doing this, they grow closer and a relationship forms. But Charlie's struggles kind of make it hard for them to be together. I don't even know if Charlie's out. This book made me cry. This book made me happy. This was just so absolutely wonderful. I am very excited. I will be rereading this at some point. Alison Cochrane was an absolute author to find this year, both with this and Kiss Her Once for Me. Very glad that this is on the list of my top books for 2022. Next, we have The Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. This is a contemporary romance with some other non-romantic main plot points that follow Anna, and Anna's boyfriend decides that he wants to be in an open relationship, and she doesn't really know how to deal with that. She doesn't really know how to tell people no. So she decides to get on a dating app where she is matched with Kwan, and the two of them end up trying to like have a one-night stand, and it continues to fail, and I can't remember exactly why initially, but the two of them end up continuing to have like conversations with each other through the app and become very close, but then continue to kind of work towards this one-night stand. There is a lot of Anna's relationship with Kwan is definitely a big part of this, but there's a lot of other things going on. We have Anna and her self-discovery kind of journey. She is also, she doesn't know how to tell people no, but she also learns that she is a person with autism. There's a lot of other things going on in here. I believe Kwan's also kind of dealing with some things as well. So there's a lot of hard-hitting stuff going on in here. But I really enjoyed this, and it is on my best book. Next, we have The Last Piece of His Heart by Emma Scott. This is book 3 in the Lost Boys trilogy. Follows 3 kind of delinquent isn't the right word, outcasts, I guess is the better word, boys who meet at the end of at the beginning of senior year of high school, and kind of follow them. Each book in the series follows them starting there and moving forward. This is Ronan's book. Ronan was in the foster care system as a child, and when he turns 18, he is kind of taken in by his uncle, but not in a very familial way, but more in a, you can live here for free if you do all of this other free labor type of thing. So it's not a great relationship, and the apartments that he's living in are very run down. But it also follows Shiloh, who is being raised by, I believe it's her grandmother, because her mother wants nothing to do with her, but she is just trying to get through the end of high school so she can create her jewelry business. She has like an Etsy shop, but she's just trying to get through high school so that she can focus on her business full time. And when the two of them meet, they're instantly attracted to each other, but neither believe that it's going to last, and that relationships are really a thing for either of them. There's a situation at the end that really kind of tests their relationship and really puts everything in jeopardy, that I really enjoyed. And I also believe that this tied up the trilogy very nicely. You kind of see a little bit of you get that really the nice tie-in with the other two books in this series, so that you can kind of see that those other boys are really in a happily ever after situation. Everyone's still friends. There's a lot of found family in this, which is my number one thing in life. Next, we have Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. This is the fourth volume of the Heartstopper graphic novel that follow Nick and Charlie, two boys who become best friends and then fall in love with each other. I really enjoyed this. This is the one that kind of deals with some harder topics, as Nick kind of deals with some of his mental health issues. We all know I'm a sucker for anything Heartstopper, so this was absolutely like one of the first books I read this year. Absolutely love it. I think I read because of the show. I actually read the series twice this year. I live, breathe and die by Nick and Charlie at the moment, so I really enjoyed this one. At number 5, we have Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. This is a sapphic romance that follows Delilah, who is a photographer in New York, and she has a very estranged relationship with her stepmother and stepsister. Her father has passed, so she kind of feels like she's alone in the world, but she's out in New York doing her thing. But then she is brought back to her hometown because she's agreed to help photograph Astrid's wedding and kind of the events that lead up to her wedding. So she has to go home back to her hometown, which she hasn't been to in a long time, to be around people she doesn't particularly care for, and kind of try to get through the week. But while she's there, she runs into, she kind of doesn't meet Claire because she knows Claire, but she kind of runs into Claire, who is one of Astrid, her stepsister's best friends, and they were kind of the mean girls in high school, so she doesn't really want anything to do with any of them, but she finds herself very attracted to Claire, and Claire finds herself really attracted to Delilah. Claire is a single mother, kind of dealing with a absentee ex. The two of them develop a relationship that they kind of have to keep secret, because the goal is to get Astrid to her wedding, and Astrid probably, because of her dislike for Delilah, probably wouldn't go for her best friend dating her stepsister. I really enjoyed this. By page 35, I was enthralled by Delilah and the writing in this book. So I have yet to read Astrid Parker, but I'm super excited, and hopefully that'll be on this top list for 2023. Next, we have Saga Volume 4, but honestly, it's just Saga in general, because I don't remember what specifically from this one made this outrank all of the others, but I read all of Saga this year and absolutely loved it. The Saga graphic novels start following two characters. Both are from kind of warring planets, or one's from the planet, one's from the moon, but they're enemies, and they end up falling in love and having a baby, and basically the entire world is then out to get them and to kill them and the child they've created. It is a fantastic story. I think this is just the one. I don't even know what happened. Something in here hit me in my feels. I don't even know what happened in this one that would have made me love this more than the others, but it doesn't matter. I just absolutely fell in love with this series this year, and I'm excited to continue on to it. And but this one made spot number 4. I'm going to have a top romances of the year coming sometime soon. So a lot of this is going to be duplicated on that list, but if you're interested in seeing all of the romances the top 10 romances for the year, check out that video when it's up in a couple of days. But one of the things I realized, now I filmed these out of order, is that book number 3, I didn't put on the romance list, but I don't know if it should be, I don't know. And that is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. I don't need to go into what this is. I feel like everyone and their mother knows what this is about by now, but I absolutely adored this. I sobbed through a good portion of this. I think Bryce is an absolutely fantastic main character. Hunt is definitely one of my favorite Maas heroes. Dethroning Kale Westfall was a thing I didn't think would ever happen, but Hunt Applear has achieved that. Still love you, Kale. This was fantastic. This reignited my love for urban fantasy, which I haven't done anything about yet, but it happened. I did read How the Sky and Breath. It was not as good as this. I think I still gave it 5 stars, but it wasn't the same. But this really was amazing. I loved this. My only problem is that these are so massive. They take me like 2 weeks to get through. But I did really love this, and I'm really interested in where the series is going now that I've read the end of book 2. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm intrigued, and this book will always be just amazing by itself. And the last 2 are from the same series by the same author, but I'm going to talk about them separately because they're number 1 and number 2. The first book we have is Always Only You by Chloe Leese. This is book 2 in the Bergman Brothers series that follow the Bergman siblings, and all of them except for one, I believe, play soccer, and that one is Ren, who is a hockey player, and he is on this professional hockey team, and that hockey team has a social media PR person named Frankie, and Ren has a little bit of a crush on her, but she is off limits while they are working for the same team. And this is definitely a grumpy sunshine romance. Ren is our sunshine. He is always very happy-go-lucky. He's always smiling. And Frankie is our grumpy heroine. She's not really open to relationships. She's not really open to connections with anyone necessarily. But she has had her eye on Ren, but she does know that they cannot be together. But I believe she's going to law school, and she's going to school to get a degree. But when she's done, she will be quitting the team. But I think the sparks start to everything starts to really heat up before she is done with that. Frankie is a really great character. She is a badass. She, I believe, is a person with autism and has also been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So she walks with a cane. So she sees herself as a problem. This is back from the back. She sees herself as a problem, not a person. But Ren sees her completely, and it is so amazing. Ren, a Chloe Leese hero, is always one of the most fantastic heroes that I can read about. They make me swoon, and I think honestly that they alone give these books 5 stars. But I really, really, really enjoyed this. I have yet to continue on with that series, but my number 1 read for the year is Only One Is Us by Chloe Leese. This is I'm having a hard time explaining this book lately. This is the story of Willa and Ryder. Willa is a hot-tempered, I believe she plays soccer. She does. She plays soccer for the college team, and she is finding that her professor in one of her classes is kind of being a dick, and he won't give her the notes that she needs for the class that she missed because she was doing a game or something. So the teacher tells her to go talk to Ryder, but when she goes to talk to Ryder, he ignores her completely, and being Willa, she immediately hates him. But what she learns later is that Ryder is deaf. He has late in life deafness. I believe it's from a meningitis, when he contracted meningitis when he was a freshman in college, I believe is what happened. But the two of them still enter into this playful, bantery, hate you but like you type of friendship that turns into something more. Willa describes Ryder as a lumbersexual Neanderthal, and Ryder describes Willa as a thorn in his side. So that is just the bantery relationship. They continue to kind of prank each other, just do these little things that are not necessarily malicious, but they're just fun, good-natured, and in the process they develop a friendship and then feelings. And there's a scene in this towards, I don't know where exactly it is, but Will is having a bad day and Ryder shows up with candy and alcohol, and I'm pretty sure some sexy times happen, and it is just, I love Ryder. Look at him. Where is he? There we go. That beard, maybe it doesn't show up on camera well. It just looks like it's one giant thing there, but it looks a little bit better in real life. And I love these covers. But all of that swooning, there was so much swooning to be had in this book, and all of that makes this my #1 book for 2022. All right, those are my top 10 books of 2022. Again, I will be posting my top romances of 2022. That does have some overlap, but if you want more on that genre, please check that out once it's posted. Please comment down below and let me know what your #1 book of 2022 was. Hopefully you also found a new favorite author slash series slash everything in your favorite, like I found in this. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you've liked it, and subscribe if you have not already. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.